So how do you get out of your slip when you got 3 feet in front of you and 3 feet from the boat behind you? Well, you get somebody on a dinghy, in this case a Canadian named Doug from the sailing vessel Amazed. Then he pulled our bow out, got us straight, and had somebody controlling the stern line. Then they threw the lines loose, and we were on our way to Manjack Cay for a couple of days. We'd had about 5 days straight of 20-25 knot winds. The next 3 days were scheduled to be light and variable or some good sailing wind. So everybody pretty much cleared out of the marina and either went to Manjack or a place called Cay, which was another hour north. But Manjack was about an hour sailed. We didn't mess with the sails, even though we had some good wind. We got there, dropped the anchor, and then decided to jump in a dinghy and go see what the anchor looked like, seeing how we could see the bottom, and check and make sure that it was set right. Well, with Sheila at the oars and me at the bow of the dinghy with the GoPro, we tracked the chain down and followed it to the anchor. And lo and behold, we found it. It's in about 12, maybe 13 feet of water, if I remember correctly. But it's laying on its side with only 2 of the flukes dug in a little bit. And we'd already set the anchor and back down on it, so we knew it was holding us. But the thing to do was to raise it and reset it and make sure it dropped in there and dug in properly. But once we were settled in and happy with everything, we got Sheila some engine time on the dinghy and let her play around out in the water, figuring out how it operates and how it maneuvers and some of the peculiarities with it. And then I decided to stick the GoPro under the water and see what the boat looked like and the prop looked like at the bottom. And I thought that was pretty cool. Watching the prop spin and the trail that it makes. Doesn't take much to amuse us. The next day we jumped in a dinghy and went up this little, I guess it's called the tributary. It's a waterway that goes about up the middle of the island. Has a reputation for turtles, so we decided we'd go out and find us some sea turtles and get some pictures of them. Most of them just kind of scurried out of our way when we did see them, and some took off like they had a nitro pack attached to them. Could not believe how fast them guys were. But there were lots of them. Can you see the turtle there? Neither do I. There we go, and there's one. Now, this guy wasn't too shy. He let us get in a little closer than most of the rest. This guy let us get pretty close and then put it in passing gear and took off. And like I said, it's pretty surprising how fast them things can swim. And he wasn't even in passing gear, really. And this guy weren't too shy at all. He actually let us get pretty close before he picked up speed. There's supposed to be quite a few stingrays in this area, but we never did see any. Just a lot of turtles. And I say just because, I mean, it was pretty cool looking at them. Well, we watched them for a while. Went up the creek or the waterway quite a ways, but hadn't had to turn around and head back because high tide, you'll go aground in the dinghy. You have to wait, or low tide, I mean. Then you got to wait for high tide before you can get back out 6 hours later. So we headed back to the boat and decided to do a little bit of swimming and snorkeling around the boat. There's some fish down there under our boat and stuff, but they were like camouflage, and you had to really look close to see them. No colorful coral or colorful tropical fish. It was pretty neat looking around down below and being able to see the bottom and all the things in there. But we spent the better part of the afternoon just snorkeling and goofing off, and then the next day we decided to walk to the beach over on the Atlantic Ocean side of the island. Thought we'd go over there, do some swimming and beach combing and just checking things out. And then we seen this sign, 1 mile. And we were not prepared for that walk. We had our beach shoes on, swimsuits. The hand carried a couple bottles of water, didn't carry anything else. And it was quite the walk through this path. Now, we've been told that the homeowners of this area actually cut this path to the ocean for the cruisers. They did quite a good job of it. But after a long walk, we finally came to the Atlantic Ocean. Pert near postcard perfect. Had a real long sandy beach, and down on the far end of where we were at, had all these, I guess you call them rock formations. Sheila found what I guess would be called a sand dollar, but it was pretty thick. It's not like the typical ones that you get in the tourist stores. But she cleaned all the sand out of it, and we decided to keep it. Walked through this ankle-deep water to check out some of these rock formations, and found out you gotta be careful because some of them spots that you step in are actually a couple feet deep. It makes you wonder how long it took the water to form that rock in the shape that it's in. Then we found this spot. This is another rock formation, and evidently there's a big hole that goes from one end out across to the other end. I was pretty fascinated with it. Sheila was more interested in all the little critters stuck into the little gullies and holes inside the rock formation. I think she was looking for some escargot or something to eat. But it was fun. We had a good time. Got lots of sun. Found a few little souvenirs. Then on the way back, we found this young lady, one of the homeowners on the island, out walking her goats. Had a couple of kids with them, and them kids just took to that rock pile like it was nothing. She was a pretty friendly gal and gave us a lot of information and chit-chatted, and we just watched the goats for a few minutes, and time to call it a day. Our third day there, we had some wind set in, running 18 to 20 knots for most of the day. Died down a little bit that night, but it was enough to keep us rocking for a while. I think this was Friday. Anchor line stretched just as tight as could be. And we just rocked up and down for about a 26-hour period. But it was nice, helped you go to sleep. And then on Saturday, April 1st, April Fool's Day, it was time to head back to the marina. Supposed to have another weather system come in Sunday, so we figured we better get on back and get secured so we'd be comfortable for 2 or 3 days of this weather that was coming in. But we raised the mainsail and put the jib out, and then just sat back and relaxed for about an hour of a really good sail. It wasn't too windy, the waves weren't bad. Did about 4.5 knots. I think the winds were like, there you go, 10 knots. And we just zipped right along in about 14 feet of water. And then just cleaned the cockpit up a little bit, sat back and relaxed and enjoyed the ride. It was a really good day. We had a blast. It was a good week, I guess. The last 4 or 5 days, we had a good time. It was nice to get out of the marina. But thanks for watching. Hope you liked it.